What is up, MFers? I think today's video deserves a little brewski. Oh, that's good, Dr. Juice right there. You guys have been requesting for years, whether it just be a comment on Facebook, Instagram, a little bank fishing video, or a tournament video, that I try to fish professional fishing tournaments for my career. At least give it a shot. And as the years have gone on, it has been more and more requested, especially with my move down here to Texas. Today's video, I'm so freaking excited to tell you guys, I have decided to make the jump to fish professional fishing tournaments in 2023. Let's drink to that. Now, for those of you guys that are not familiar with the entire tournament fishing landscape, I totally understand. There's several different leagues that you can fish in, and of course, you can't just go pay the entry fee and all of a sudden be at the top of each respective league. You have to work your way up and qualify, which over the years has become unbelievably difficult and not very financially wise, I guess would be the way to say it. And that's what I'm getting myself into. So in today's video, I'm going to explain my steps on where I've gone with this channel, why I decided to go the social media YouTube route prior to going professional in these tournaments. Then I'll talk about the 3 different divisions, their schedules for next year, and what the qualifying looks like on those. And last but not least, I'm going to announce which of the 3 leagues I'm going to fish. Maybe I'll be coming to a city near you, and you guys can actually be a part of the entire process. I am so excited for this, guys. Really quick, before we start talking about the logistics of these tournaments and what I'm fishing, let me tell you guys my journey in just a really quick synopsis. A lot of you guys already know this, but hundreds of thousands of you are new since I kind of talked about this in a video several years ago. So here's a little bit about me. I fished tournaments, got introduced to tournament fishing later in high school and then in college. Got totally ate up with it. I had fished my entire life and I had played sports my entire life. So involving competition in my fishing was something that as soon as I started, I could not get enough of it. So I started a bass fishing club at my local college, University of Nebraska in Omaha. I fished there 3 years. We had a solid amount of success. It was kind of when college fishing was in its infancy. And during that process, I was fishing club tournaments locally in Omaha, Nebraska. I was trying to fish some regional tournaments, TBF style tournaments, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I was fishing 20 to 25 a year. Well, I graduated from college, got my degree, and then the real world thing kind of started to set in. I had a little Maximus. He was about this big then. He was probably 2 or 3 years old when I graduated from college, and immediately I needed a job to make money. I wasn't handed anything by my parents at any point in my life. I had to work, and I understood that from the start. So went out and got a job. I got a desk job. Desk job was fine. It paid the bills. Didn't pay very much, but I was able to fish on the weekends, and a lot of times I'd get my hours in and I'd break out of there early on Friday or stay to Monday and fish tournaments out of town. Again, 20 to 30 a year probably at that point. But the problem with the real desk job, as many of you guys know, you can't get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 weeks of paid vacation. So fishing these tournament series where I would have to pre-fish for 3 or 4 days in a 3-day tournament, and they were 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, even more every single year, it wasn't even possible in my wheelhouse. And that was extremely discouraging to me because my #1 goal since I started getting eaten up by fishing and started the tournament fishing from a young age in high school and college was to have a professional fishing career. Whatever that meant, I knew I wanted to work in the fishing industry. So somewhere along the road, in my tournament fishing locally, I got introduced to some YouTube stuff and started figuring out how social media fishermen were actually making a living in the fishing industry. A lot of this was from getting paid from views, working with different companies on promotion. And you guys know a lot of my backstory was 6th Sense. They were in their infancy. I loved their baits. I just started my social media stuff. We kind of worked together with a real small discount and everything. And our relationship kind of grew as that all went along. Well, as you guys know, everything went very, very well. Thanks to you guys 100% supporting me from the start on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything you guys have done to watch all these stupid ass videos that I put together along the way over the last 6 years of doing it. Now, the last several years, I absolutely would have been able to do this, whether that be financially and with the amount of travel that's required to go fish around the country to fish the Toyota Series, the Opens, and now we have a new tournament series called the NPFL. But I haven't made the plunge yet for several different reasons. The schedule didn't set up right. I didn't like the format where there was no off limits period. Official practice days weren't in place. I don't know, there's just a lot of different things that I wasn't crazy about. I didn't like how how everything really set up. And so I kind of stuck with the local tournament series and fishing a lot of different types of fishing. And really, honestly, I honed my skills. I tried to get more versatile. I tried to perfect a lot of different techniques and really master them, whether that be with the 8-pound test on a spinning rod, or as you guys know, throwing the 10, 12, 14-inch glide baits, swim baits for giant fish and everything in between. I wanted to get very, very proficient at all of it, because if you're gonna fish the top level circuits, you have to be able to fish all different types of bodies of water. That's what I wanted to sharpen my skills for, not just jump in and get over my head from the start. But as you guys know, especially lately since we moved down here in Texas, we've been catching numbers of big fish like not a lot of people have seen before. We put out a lot of great content, and I'm not gonna say that I'm bored with it. I'm not gonna say that it's not going well. I'm not gonna say that it's stagnant, or even that I'm super pissed off that people are fishing all the spots simply by watching the videos and burning the lakes down to the ground that we found ourselves. I'm not gonna say that, but I will say that it's kind of a combination of all those things. Is maybe 50% of it, and the rest of the 50% is me simply wanting to scratch that itch and see if I got what it takes at a higher level tournament series. I guess it's that simple, guys. I love competition. I feel like I've honed my skills a lot, even though I am a little bit green when it comes to fishing these giant tournament fields, and I haven't fished a lot of these lakes on the schedules of these 3 different major divisions around the country, almost none of them. Even though I haven't done that, I have to do it. Kids are young, Ozzy's not in school, Becky's got a job where she can work when she kind of feels like she wants to work. And as you guys know, Coleslaw's right back there, the sensational cameraman, the best there is in the game. And before he moves on to actually having a good job and not working, filming these crappy bank fishing videos and falling off city bridges, catching catfish and whatnot, I better take advantage of it and film some great content along the road for you guys. So, once again, thank you guys so much for supporting me along the way. Wouldn't be possible without you. So cheers to you guys. Couldn't be more excited. All right, let's talk about the logistics of it. That was my story. The logistics of this. There is 3 major tournament circuits right now when you're thinking of like a AAA level, if you want to think of it, or like a minor league system that feeds into the upper levels of tournament fishing. The 2 main ones, which everyone knows about recently, we have Bass, B-A-S-S, been around forever, and then Major League Fishing that kind of started up in 2018 or 19, I believe, and they've kind of thrown a little wrench in things. If you guys aren't familiar with that, then there's probably no need to explain really what's happened with that. Basically, they kind of absorbed FLW, and so that is that side of it. And then there's the Bassmaster side of it. And then 2 years ago, a brand new league started up called the National Professional Fishing League. Basically, there is no qualifying after that. That is the top level. It's $4,000 entry fee per tournament, 6 tournaments around the country. And it really gave anglers just another solid option for a payout that, I don't know, without having to qualify for an upper level tournament series, I guess. So all 3 series have announced their schedules. The Bass series is the Bass Open. So they actually changed up their rules a whole bunch this year. There used to be 3 different divisions of 3 tournaments. Hopefully you guys are following along here. There's a boater and a non-boater, but you're by yourself. Basically the non-boater is there. They can win some money, but it's a learning experience for them, and they're basically your marshal. It's someone you don't know. But pro entry fees are $1,800 a tournament. Used to be that there's 3 different divisions, 3 tournaments in each division, each angler finishing in the top 3 in points, so a lot of 3s there. So 3 in each division, that's 9 points. And then the last few years has been an overall too. So if you fished all 9, the top 3 guys in points in all 9, also they qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series, which in my opinion is the highest tournament series. It is the most, Cole, what would it be? Prestigious, most renowned, most prestigious organization, even though a ton of their anglers left and went over to MLF when they were created. That's a whole nother topic of interest, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So you would end up with 12 anglers that qualified the last few years for the Elite Series out of the Opens, and if you win one of these Opens, you qualify for the Bassmaster Classic, which is the most prestigious tournament in bass fishing. Only 50 to 55 anglers, they change it about every year. who qualifies to get in, but $300,000 for first place. It is the ticket. You guys have seen the videos from the Classic Expos from me over the year. It's the deal, and that's been a long time dream of mine to reach that tournament as well. So here's what they changed this year for that series. There is no longer the ability to fish 3 of those tournaments, like one division, and that's it, and qualify for the Elite Series by getting the top 3 in points. They have made it to where you have to fish all 9. The only way to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series, unless you're a legend of the sport where you've won classics and Angler of the Years and stuff, is to fish the Opens. The top 9 anglers in points in the Opens qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series. So that's it. Now that obviously ruffled some feathers because people that wanted to fish 3 weeks a year and have the opportunity to go qualify for the Elite Series now have to fish 9 weeks of the year, basically, and a lot of guys that work full-time, that took them out of it. But there's good to that as well. You now have to be a much more well-rounded angler, per se, than if you were just fishing the divisions that's closest to you and you were familiar with those 3 lakes, whatever. They also changed something up with their system to where you only have 5 official practice days, and before that there is about 27 to 29 days or something, 4 weeks basically of an off-limits period. No information, no practice, can't be on the water, nothing. I love that because, well, there was a lot of people going to these lakes and fishing them for 25, 30, 35 days before the tournament started. And while that doesn't matter that much, because as you guys know, the fishing changes from 20 minutes ago to what it is now, it's extremely hard on the fishery, especially when you're fishing a tough place. Those fish got so beat up and moved around from people sticking them in practice, that was an issue. And that was always an issue with me as well. Now the next one, the NPFL, like I just said, 6 tournaments, all in the southeast up into the Michigan area for one this year. They just announced their schedule. Entry fees are more expensive. $1,800 for the Opens, $4,000 entry fee for the 6 tournaments in the NPFL. This is a newer circuit. It's a lot less prestigious, a lot less camera time, and sponsor dollars for that matter. But like I said, it's a great way to not just have to fish against locals that are good on that body of water, but instead, I believe it is a 100-ish, 120 angler field. Not a giant field, which by the way, the Opens are 225 anglers and extremely difficult to get into. So it's a smaller field. You're fishing for $50,000 for first place, higher entry fee, higher payout per anglers in it, and less anglers out there. And again, I love that you're fishing around the country, not just fishing against locals like a lot of the Bass Opens were before they made some of the rule changes. And then that leaves the last circuit, which is Major League Fishing, MLF, as you guys know it. Now, there's been a lot of changes lately, and a lot of things that I think are honestly pretty scary. So they changed the entire format for the upper level, which is the Bass Pro Tour, the top guys in the Major League Fishing side of things, 115 or something guys, maybe not even that, maybe 100 guys. No, 86 guys or something. So smaller field. Elite Series is about 90, 95, 100. But they started the entire thing because it was the anglers had control, no entry fees with high payouts, whatever. A couple years ago, they apparently were having issues with funding. I don't know their books, but now it's $6,000 per tournament for entry fees. And then they recently just changed from every fish counts to now a 5 fish limit. And as you guys might have followed along, the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit, which was the old FLW Tour, completely got wiped out. So basically, the Toyota Series is the way to qualify for the next level up, which is the not FLW, I don't know, it's called the Invitationals. I don't know who their sponsor is for it. And then if you get high enough points in the Invitationals, you qualify for the MLF Bass Pro Tour. So there's kind of 2 stair steps there, and the Invitationals just got announced. It's, I think, 6 tournaments as well. I'm not sure what the entry fees are, but I was told they're higher than the Bass Opens, but they're lower than NPFL, and the payouts are higher as well. That's it. That's the 3 different divisions I had to choose from. And of the 3, the Bass Opens are by far the hardest to get into. NPFL, I'm not sure how difficult it is, but I think it's possible with where they're going to get into it. And I could absolutely fish the Toyota Series. I could potentially get an invitation to the whatever the invitationals are called now. But as you guys can kind of hear what I'm saying with this, there's something going on over there, and the long-term sustainability of that brand, I think personally could be in jeopardy. And so that's a major reason that I don't feel like it's a great idea for me to fish the MLF or try to really sprout my tournament career professionally going that direction. So that leaves two, Bass Opens and the NPFL. So the Bass Opens, like I said, very tough to get into. Almost can't make any money there unless you get like a top 5 in several events of the year. Even so, with travel expenses to the 9 tournaments around the country, you might break even at best if you have the best year out of anyone. I don't know if the guy that won Angler of the Year last year even made any money. Pretty crazy. And then there's the NPFL, where 6 tournaments, more expensive, more than double the entry fee, but higher payout, fish around the country, no jackpotting tournaments where a local comes out and just hops in and wins, whatever. I don't know, it's a great circuit to kind of get started in, I feel like, and fish those professional level tournaments. But I have made my decision to fish the Bass Opens. That is the decision I've made. Cole, I don't know if that was enough of like a drum roll or something like that. I don't know. Was that good? I announced it. Great. Cole's laughing at me. Cheers. Oh, I need another one. I'm not done with this one yet, but I will drink this one as well. Cole, thank you. I have made the decision to fish the Bass Opens because if I'm going to jump into this and put the financial, emotional investment into it, have my family all over the place, travel, be away from home, all this stuff, I want there to be an end goal. And for me, there's 2 of those, and that would be the Bassmaster Elite Series and qualifying for the Bassmaster Classic. As many of you guys that follow along know, the Bass Opens are unbelievably difficult. They are a marathon. I know a lot of you think that I'm a great swim bait fisherman, so I should be able to go win most of the Bassmaster Opens. Well, I don't know if anyone in recent history has won 2 in a season. And I'm definitely not well-rounded or a good enough fisherman to even win 1 at this point, to be completely honest. I'm going to have to grow and evolve and learn how I'm fishing these tournaments as we go along. So there's 9 of them around the country. Let me read the schedule to you guys in case I'll be in your area. First tournament is Lake Eufaula in Eufaula, Alabama, March 2nd. So that's the first one on my mind. I'm honestly not trying to think about any other ones after that. Second one, Toledo Bend in Louisiana, April 13th. That's the closest tournament to me. I've never fished that lake. It's 2.5, 3 hours away, but I am very excited, especially because I can go and kind of learn it beforehand. Next one after that, Bugs Island, which people know as Kerr Lake in Virginia, May 3rd. Don't know anything about that, but there's blueback herring. It's a water control reservoir. It's going to be what makes up how the tournament goes. It's how high the water level it is, whether it's in the bushes or whether it's super clean water and they're kind of roaming around. We're going to have to see. After that, May 18th is Wheeler Lake in Alabama. Could be an all-out ledge fishing deal. Still could be fish on beds. Could be bluegill bed stuff, post spawn. And that's where a big bait, I think, also could come into play. We'll see. You never freaking know. After that, June 15th, again at Lake Eufaula, except it's Eufaula in Oklahoma. That's a massive body of water, as are several of the previous ones. Toledo Bend's massive. Eufaula, Alabama's massive. Bugs Island's massive as well. Giant, giant bodies of water. But Lake Eufaula, Oklahoma, as the Bass Talk Live guys, Matt Pangrak knows it, is the best tournament lake in the country, he says, because you can do so many different things there. That makes me very excited. And then July 20th, we go to the St. Lawrence River in New York. That's the best smallmouth fishery in the world right now, as many know it. But very, very pressured fish. There is the river, and then 80 miles away is the Lake Ontario. All great water. Going to be very, very interesting to see how that one goes down. Next one up is September 13th at Watts Bar Reservoir in Kingston, Tennessee. I don't know anything about Watts Bar other than it's kind of like a Highland-style fishery, and it's September, so you never freaking know what's going to happen in that fall transition. It could be super tough. Next one is the one of 2 lakes I've fished, and is Lake of the Ozarks on September 21st. Well, I've spent a lot of time there, a decent amount. It's all been from December until April and March for the first part. So fishing it late summer, again, that's going to be a grinder. I think that'll be the most difficult tournament on the schedule. And then last, to wrap it up, where the 9 anglers will get named to be part of the Elite Series to clinch their berths, will be at the Harris Chain of Lakes in Florida on October 12th. Again, no idea, never been there. It's Florida fishing. It's a chain of lakes with current and of course a bunch of grass. I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll be bait related, but a lot of fall tournaments are, and that means nothing. I'm gonna have to study my ass up. So I guess if you guys are in the areas of any of those lakes and you wanna come say hi to me, let me know ahead of time. I honestly don't like to fish other people's water because that can spin you out a lot of times, and where Cole went out and can catch a 30-pound limit every single day at his home body of water, that's nearly impossible for me to duplicate or other people to duplicate. So that doesn't always help. But the information rule is just 27 days before the tournament. So if you guys think that there's something that can help me before then, just from a navigation standpoint, like, hey, you don't want to run wide open through there, or hey, you should stay at this hotel because you won't get shot, that'd be great. Another thing that would be super helpful, Cole is not allowed to be on my boat during competition days. Obviously, I can run the dash cam, the chest cam, whatever, which I will be doing unless the weather's crazy. But if any of you guys are locals and you can drive a camera boat, shoot me an email. I'll put my email down below. If you're any of these lakes around the country, that would be super, super helpful. I'm not positive, but last year and the year before, you could have a cameraman in your boat for practice, so I think we're good there. If not, I'm looking for help as well on that. But thank you guys so much for anyone that's willing to offer that up for us. So that kind of brings me to my next thing with traveling. We are all going to travel. Me and Cole and Becky and Osborne are going to be traveling to all these tournaments, or at least the large majority of them. I'm not positive Becky and Ozzy will be at all of them, but we haven't decided. I think there's going to be too many of us for sure for the truck top camper, so I don't know if we're getting a bigger camper, a Class C RV, staying in Airbnbs, camping. I don't know what we're going to do at this point, so we're trying to figure out those details right now, and I want to get it figured out as soon as possible, because once the tournament series starts, I want my focus to be on that, the 5 days of practice. The way the tournament works is everyone fishes the first 2 days and the top 10 anglers fish the last day. Again, if you win one, you qualify for the Bassmaster Classic as long as you fish all 3 tournaments in that division. So again, that kind of takes out people jackpotting if they at least have to show up for the other 2 or pay the entry fees for them, or else they can't qualify. At the end of the year, points are given per place you get in the event. If you get first place, I don't know how many points it is, but you get, I think 225 probably if there's 225 anglers. Second place is 224, whatever, that's how it works. That all adds up over the course of the series, and the top 9 guys qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series. I'm excited, guys. I'm nervous. I have a lot to learn, and I feel like being really versatile with knowing a lot of different techniques is going to help me, especially traveling to all these tournaments, not just fishing one region. But at the same time, I have never pre-fished. I was thinking about this. I don't think I've ever pre-fished for an event more than 2 days in my entire life, and we're going to have 5 days. So being able to manage my time pre-fishing and kind of focus on the right thing. It's easy to say now, but not trying to figure out what they're biting on day 1 of practice, and instead kind of learning the fishery more so than thinking that that's going to help me catching those fish in the tournament, because it changes so quickly. But it's going to be a whirlwind. I'm excited to take you guys along with it. It's going to be a whole new tournament series, and I have some exciting news for members in the upcoming days about something that they're going to get as part of a member of the channel, whether that be on YouTube or Facebook. I'll put a link at the top of the description. This endeavor, I think it's going to cost me, depends on what type of travel mode we do, but in the entry fees are $1,800 times 9, that's $16,200. Gas, lodging, food, travel is going to be another $20,000 to $30,000 probably. So it's going to be a very expensive endeavor this year I'm taking on. Of course, I'm going to make as much content for you guys along the way and film it all. But if you are willing to become a member and help support, your money's going straight to that. So thank you guys again so much for the opportunity. I wouldn't be able to do this without your support over the years in turning this dream of becoming a professional fisherman into a reality. Now I think it's time to take it to the next level when it comes to the tournament fishing. So thank you guys again. Cheers, MFers. Catch you soon. I'm out of here. Peace.